As conversations and celebrations tied to the Supreme Court's landmark same-sex marriage ruling continue tonight, we sit down with Rhode Island Congressman David Cicilline. Cicilline says there is much more work to be done in the realm of LGBT rights. Eyewitness News reporter Brian Iacono has the interview tonight with the man who was the nation's first openly gay mayor of a capital city.
This is the letter from Congressman David Cicilline praising the court's historic marriage equality decision, but in it he also outlines discrimination that still exists for members of the LGBT community when it comes to education, employment, and housing. We saw a very public celebration outside the Supreme Court on Friday as word spread of marriage equality nationwide.
The excitement on the plaza in front of the Supreme Court was extraordinary.
Congressman David Cicilline, who co-chairs the LGBT Equality Caucus, was outside the Supreme Court when the decision was announced.
The American people overwhelmingly support equality. They don't think discrimination against members of the LGBT community is right. And this is one of those areas where I think the Supreme Court is not actually persuading the country, where they're actually catching up to where the rest of the country is.
But the congressman is focused on another major hurdle for equality and plans to present anti-discrimination legislation in July, saying that in the majority of U.S. states, there are no protections for the LGBT community from housing to employment.
As a country, I think we are ready to say you can't discriminate against people because of their sexual orientation or gender identity in any context. And that, that's where the country is. And I think it's time for Congress to catch up to that and make sure that there are federal protections to be sure that people are not discriminated against because of who they are.
The congressman also tells me he continues working to get Republican sponsors of that anti-discrimination legislation. He then expects a national conversation with union, business, and civil rights leaders. I'm Brian Iacono, Eyewitness News.